Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honor Thy Podcast. This is the weekly DC TV Arrowverse podcast where we discuss everything Arrowverse. I'm your host, Declan McKinney. You may know me as the host of DC Central, and as always, is my co-host Dan McCants, otherwise known as Mulekick Media.
Hey.
What's wrong, Dan?
It was only Supergirl on this week.
And boy, did we feel it. So in this episode, we don't have many reviews because we've only got Supergirl. Flash and Arrow are off this week and next week, and Supergirl is also off next week. So there are no shows next week.
Why would you bring it back for a week and then take it off and then
makes no sense. So just to be upfront and clear, there may not be an episode next week. Probably not, unless there's like some massive news drop or something.
Yeah.
Then we're probably not going to do an episode next week, but. As far as this week is concerned, we do have a couple of news pieces to go over. We have our Supergirl review for this week, and then also floating around the Arrowverse this week, there's been a couple of Reddit posts regarding scrapped concepts for both The Flash and Arrow for each of their individual seasons. So we're going to go through those in replacement for our Flash and Arrow reviews, because they're quite interesting and quite fun. Whether they are true or not, they're still quite cool to discuss. So anyway, before we get to all of that though, I just want to say, move away from DC TV just for a minute. I mean, I think we're all of us nerd culture, we're kind of in a state of mourning right now after the death of the Marvel Netflix universe.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad when Eminem starts to take to social media about Punisher being cancelled.
That was brilliant. When I saw that...
Maybe you'll release a diss track against Marvel Netflix.
Well, the real Slim Shady, please stand up. Now, I was like so amazed by that. And then, right, I got into an argument with somebody in the comment section of that because they were like blaming the wrong people essentially, and I was just trying to simply correct them into their situation. They blocked me, so that was fun. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that, move away from DC TV just for a minute, just because. And I just want to put out a statement. I just want to say thank you to Netflix for all the wonderful shows they put out. I mean, granted, there were some better seasons than others, but, I love that universe, and I'm sad that it's gone. I mean, we still got Jessica Jones Season 3, and I just was mentioning... As
if anyone's going to watch that, though. Who's going to watch Jessica Jones Season 3? Well, I'm not sure if I will, because I really didn't like Season 2. And it's like, well...
It depends how good Season 3 is, because, Season 1 was great, Season 2 was bad, and so it depends where Season 3 goes. I tell you what though, I will not watch Season 3 if they make Trish Hellcat. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
But we all know that's going to happen. They're going to make Trish the main character.
Why? I hate Trish so much, especially after Season 2. I didn't mind her in Season 1, but she was awful in Season 2, and it's annoying because I really like that actress.
The moment she took advantage of Malcolm, I was like, oh hell no.
You don't hear Malcolm. Malcolm is the boy. I tell you what, Malcolm was the best part of Season 2. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anyway, Rip Daredevil. That's the one that we missed the most. Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I mean, I'm still sad about that because they ended.
Iron Fist, man.
Especially Iron Fist. Season 3 of Iron Fist was going to be so cool, and they just got rid of it just as it got good. Ward and Danny in Japan. The missed opportunities are now good. And Punisher, which I've got one episode left of Season 2, which I'm going to watch after we record this. I love both seasons of The Punisher. And that's just gone as well. It was funny, just before recording this, I watched episode 11 and 12. And episode 11, Karen's in it, and they mention Matt Murdock, and I was just like crying.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to say, episode 11 of The Punisher, it made me cry. John Bernthal got me.
John Bernthal is just the MVP. He is the man.
The scene when he's in the hospital and he's talking about his kids and his wife. Man, that got me, man. I was like, wow. Anyway, let's get back on top. I just want to take it because I love that universe, and I'm so sad that it's gone. Because this might be the DC TV universe one day. Where it all comes to an end. So
it'll probably be in about 20 years' time when we're like fucking grown men sat here still doing this podcast.
Still doing this. Episode 406. Anyway, let's get into the news. So Doug Ray Scott has been cast as Kate Kane's father in Batwoman. If you don't know Doug Ray Scott, he was originally actually cast to play Wolverine in the X-Men films. However, he had to duck out due to commitments, and he later showed up on Desperate Housewives. So this guy, and more well known, he's the main villain of Mission Impossible 2. But he's Doug Ray Scott,
the man who plunges that 9 near Tom Cruise's eyeball.
Yeah, and Tom Cruise was mental enough because he wanted it even closer than it was meant to be. But great hair in that movie. But
beautiful hair.
Doug Ray Scott. I mean, I haven't really seen much of him other than Mission Impossible 2. He was fine in that film. So yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it depends. I don't think he's gonna have that big of a role.
No, I reckon it's gonna be one of those. Like how you have with what's his name, James Sheridan as Robert Queen.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be somebody where it's like he plays an important role in the pilot and then not really so much afterwards, as in like appearance wise.
Yeah, I mean, sure, whatever. I don't really have much to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, they could have really cast anyone, to be honest, because I don't think, like I say, I don't think it'll be that big of a role. But I mean, to get someone like him who's been in some big films, it's good for him. But again, I really don't think he'll play that big a role.
I really hope this show looks out for him, though, because he's got to be the most unlucky actor in the world.
I mean, to be paired alongside someone as shit as Ruby Rose, you have to be.
And also the fact he was nearly bloody Wolverine.
I know.
But then it's
I can't imagine him.
You can't see it, can you?
No.
But that was nearly Wolverine, and then eventually they gave it to some weird, Australian musical kid. But anyway, that was a good decision in the end. Now, we also got the episode title for Arrow Season 7, Episode 18. Normally, I don't include news like this, but this one was really interesting. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I can't remember the episode title, but I know that obviously they had a load of Black Canary stuff around it. It's like, what's it? Canaries?
Yeah. So the episode is called Lost Canaries.
Mm.
So, obviously, we know that we're potentially getting a Birds of Prey episode this season.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon this is going to be it. Now, there's been a big rumour that Katie Lotz is going to be in this episode, because they are sort of filming this episode now, and Katie Lotz did an Instagram Q&A, I believe last night, in a trailer, like in a filming trailer. Obviously, she's not filming Legends because that wrapped filming a while ago, and she hadn't dyed her hair yet. Like her hair's still blonde like Sarah.
Yeah, because she usually dyes it off season. When they finish filming. So
like, normally she does it like when she was at Heroes and Villains last year, she had it pink and stuff like that. So. Yeah, so there's a lot of speculation that Sarah is going to be in this episode. And I am so excited if that's the case, because that means likely we're going to be getting Sarah teaming up with Black Siren.
Yeah, that I'd be down for.
That's cool.
That'd be really cool.
Because, I mean, I really wanted to see Sarah and Black Siren interact properly, because we saw them in the Season 6 finale, they had a little moment, but then, obviously... Quentin's brain was deprived of oxygen for 7 minutes. And
be careful how you say that, Declan. You might end up crying mid-sentence.
I know, I have to be careful. But, that Quentin decided to interrupt the entire situation, and on top of that, we didn't get to see them that much. So, yeah, I think it's really cool if Sarah is in this episode. I think it makes sense as well. What I'm interested is, though, why does she come off the Wave Rider? Like, what brings her back to Star?
Sarah leaving Legends confirmed.
My God, that would be interesting. But I'm excited about this. I guess maybe who the other Canary would be. I guess maybe Dinah, I suppose.
Yeah.
But again, I think we said this on the last podcast. I don't know what they're doing with Dinah this season. I really don't know what their plan is. I can't work it out.
Well, the thing is that I watched a video today, actually, I think it's by someone that I know. It was like a video explaining like why, in their opinion, like the flash forwards don't work for Arrow.
Oh yeah, I've got that. I'll watch later.
Yeah, I've watched it, and basically they brought up a really good point, which is that Dinah, out of the current day storyline, was the character that had the least amount of development.
Yeah.
And they figured that it's probably because she's also in the future storyline as well, trying to divide her time between there and there. They can't find one storyline for her because you have to prioritize the other timeline as well. I think that's what's messing up her character this season. So maybe something like this could be good for her, but again, I don't know, because apparently from what like people are saying behind the scenes, apparently it's like, because of her being involved in both timelines, it's hard for her to film scenes for both.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've got to go through the makeup all the time. So I don't know. I think that's probably the reason why Dinah's been the least developed character like this season on Arrow. So something like this I'd really like to see her in. But at the same time, I don't know, she's such an expendable character, but she can't go anywhere because we know that she's in the future.
Because what confuses me is it seems like, obviously she's the head of the police department, she's the captain, and I said that basically turning her into Quentin's character, but then in the future she is wearing her Black Canary costume, and she's like a part of the vigilante resistance, and like she's the leader of the Canaries, I think is what Renee called it. So like, she's clearly involved in vigilanteism, but then it's just like, when does that come about? So I'm just confused. And if she's part of this Lost Canaries thing, then does that mean episode 18 is when she's going to suit up again? Like, I don't know. I'm just confused. So I don't really know what they're going to do with Dinah, but if we're getting Sarah in this episode, I think that's going to be awesome. I can't wait if that's the case, because I love Sarah, and I need her back on the show. And if we're getting her with Black Siren,
yeah, even better.
That'd be
even better. Oh, beautiful.
So that's the news. Not much, but we'll move into the review for the one show we had this week, and that is Supergirl episode 12 of season 4, called Menagerie, otherwise known as Venom. I mean, I have to say, my review I did for this episode, which was typically different to all the other reviews I did, I'm very proud of that video, and my favourite part of that video is definitely my Venom insert. I thought that was very amusing.
Was that the most editing you have ever put into a single review? Like that one segment?
It took me 10 minutes for about 5 seconds of the video, but it was totally worth it. Oh my god. Because I kept messing it up, and but I wasn't giving up until I got it right. Yes, it probably was the most edited video review I've ever done on DC Central. Anyway, this episode, basically we have a few different things going on. We have this villain known as Menagerie, like I say, aka Venom, going around and stealing money while also taking people's hearts, literally. And we have Supergirl and Jean trying to track this person down, which gets tied into Alex's storyline. And then we also have Nia and Brainy, and also Nia officially sort of becoming a superhero. So,
yeah.
So, what do you want to dive in first? Let's get amongst it. What do you want to dive into first? I'll let you.
Can we dive in? Can we dive into the greatest and most investing storyline of this entire episode? James and Lee. Couple goals. Who actually cares about this relationship? I want to know, people. Who's actually watching this who cares about these two? Like, honestly.
If you care about James and Lena, comment down below and let us know, because
oh my god,
know how few of you there are. It's just like, it was one of those things, like literally they broke up like 2 episodes ago, then they got back together, and now they broke up again because James had a bit of a hissy fit in the car. This
is Oliver and Felicity all over again, season 4.
Yeah. Do you know what made me laugh? When they're in the back of the car and Lena says, I think you should leave. Like, the car's still moving. That's a bit harsh, that, Lena.
That's just ultimate over sass. Yeah, that's too over sassy, that is.
And I know you kind of want him out of your hair, but I mean, at least give him a bit of a chance, you know what I mean? Because it's a bit harsh. But James does eventually break up with Lena, and as I mentioned before we started recording, I think that picture that he took of her up close while she's sleeping, probably not the best move, James. You're on kind of thin ice as it was, and I think that really caused the cracks. And then there was loads of other things going on. So obviously Lena is now being recruited by the government, which I'm assuming is the Red Daughter thing. They're going to use the High Renell and her experiments to do that. Although I have heard a theory, I don't know if you heard this theory, that they're going to be using it to like enhance Agent Liberty and give him powers.
Oh,
I don't like that.
No, because I like the fact that Agent Liberty is such a human character. Yeah. Like, if you just make him superhuman, it takes away from him. So,
and then he basically is an alien. So it's basically, or he might
it goes against everything that he's established.
Yeah, it basically, that would actually be a massive middle finger to that character.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that before, but I don't like the sound of that. That's awful. Yeah, that is awful. That's an awful. Yeah, please don't make it happen.
Like, the Red Daughter thing makes sense. So just go with that.
Yeah, but then again, no Red Daughter this episode. What, I don't know, what are they doing with Red Daughter? Like, what are they trying to actually do with her as a character?
I'm surprised they haven't officially brought her in yet.
Yeah, I don't know, it's like, what, because I mean, what episode are we on? That's what I don't understand. Like, they hyped her up from season 3, but like, she's not really coming to the main picture yet in terms of like going against Supergirl. Like, do you think they actually planned out this season? Do you just think they suffer from Flash syndrome? It's like, we just won't plan shit out because fuck it.
I don't know. Like, it just seems like, because they, like you said, they hyped up. They had this plan for this Red Daughter character since the end of season 3, and like they just haven't brought her into the main story. Like, she's not interacted with anybody. She's still out in the Soviet Union. Like, we don't know where she is. or even what time she's from. Like, we don't know anything about her, like where she's come from. Like, obviously we assumed and we speculated back in the finale that it must be due to time travel, because that's the explanation for everything in the Arrowverse. So, you know, it must be something to do with that, but we can't even say that for sure because we don't know, and they haven't brought her in. And it's just like, you know, it's episode 12 now, and if she's meant to be the big bad, which I thought she was, then, you know, I think it's getting a bit late. The only thing is, I kind of hope she's not the big bad. I kind of hope she's just like a weapon that they bring out.
Yeah.
I'd much rather like Agent Liberty just be the big
bad. Oh,
bad,
definitely.
because he's so good and he actually has a personality. Because I don't really feel like this version of Kara will have a personality. She will literally be a weapon. So yeah, maybe it's just something that but I don't even know who should be a weapon for. The government, I guess.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because I guess what's happening now is in this episode we do get the development of the president, who's like, oh yeah, Ben Lockwood's right, get him out of prison, the Children of Liberty are right, and I guess now the government are turning against aliens, so they're going to use, like, the Red Daughter to wipe out all aliens, including Supergirl? Is that the plan?
I don't know. I really don't know at this point.
Just don't give Ben powers, please. Like,
yeah, just don't.
Leave him
if they give him powers, I'm just going to stop watching.
Like, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Ben Lockwood is the best thing about this season. Like, he's so good. Like, he's so much better than this season. Yeah, just don't ruin. Like, he's the one good thing you have. Just don't ruin him, please. We do have the villain of Menagerie in this episode, who literally is Venom. I mean, I kind of knew this character was similar to Venom anyway, based on the comics, but in this episode, they literally just do the Venom thing. Because we even have the "We Are Menagerie" line, which, you know, we are Venom. That's literally what they do. And it's a symbiotic relationship. They're called Symbeasts, the little snake things. Yeah, I mean, I thought the actress did a good job. I actually thought this film was a bit better than an average villain of the week.
No, I didn't think she was that good. I
don't think she was that good, but I just thought.
No, she was okay, but I didn't really find her a particularly memorable villain. I thought the way that she was, the way that she got taken out was really confusing, because it made it suggest as if, like, the symbiote that was a part of her, that it got its head executed, yet it shows at the end scene that clearly it still exists. And I don't know, it was very weird how they did it. And plus, I would have thought
should not have been able to fight her that well.
Yeah, and also, like, why did the Children of Liberty not kill her? Like, I swear their entire thing was to, like, what was it, to either imprison or was it to kill aliens? Because, like, why would you leave it alive if it's this dangerous? Why would the Children of Liberty just let it live?
Well, these are all little kids, weren't they?
Yeah, one of them is Ben Lockwood. So, like, I'm sorry, he can't act. No. That kid, like, awful actor.
Why do you feel the need to use kids all the time?
I know, especially Supergirl. Supergirl's like the prime, like target for, like, awful. Oh my god.
Like, I was thinking about this earlier. I was watching, like, some old Supergirl season 3 stuff, and I was thinking, like, oh, I miss Sam. But then if we ever brought Sam back, we'd have to bring Ruby back. So I'm like, is it worth the sacrifice? But then, yeah, like, I don't know what it is with the CW, but it's just like they do it on Supergirl, Arrow obviously with William, and then even to a lesser extent, The Flash with Nora, who technically isn't a kid but basically is a kid. So yeah, it's just it's really annoying, and yeah, he can't act. I wasn't a fan of that. The whole Ben, like, basically talking to his son, saying, because, like, we don't even see the conversation, really. It just kind of happens.
Yeah, it happens off screen, and then it's just like, oh, I'm all of a sudden evil now because my daddy told me to do so.
And also, like, why does everyone follow this guy? Like, why does everyone follow this kid? Like, all of a sudden, like, he just, like, speaks up, and that's it. And he's, like, the king of the... He's, like, you know, he basically becomes Agent Liberty for, like, a day before Ben gets out of prison. But at least he's out of prison now. At least we have him back, because... it's kind of, I felt his absence.
Yeah,
because it's Sam Witwer is just incredible. All the stuff though, I'm happy that Alex's memory is still gone. I'm happy about that. I'm surprised it's still gone, to be honest.
Yeah,
but if we keep this going, I mean, I'm sure it'll be fixed by the end of the season.
Oh, definitely.
Which I'll be fine with personally. If they leave it that long, I'll be fine. But at least they've committed to it more than I thought they would, so fair enough. And then we also had, like, Sean, who was doing more of his, like, detective stuff, which was cool, like that. Now, I guess the other sort of big thing in this episode was Nia and Brainy trying to do the Valentine's thing. I don't hate this couple.
No.
Like, as far as Supergirl couples go, you know, I mean, it's It's a lot better than Caramel. It's a lot better than a lot of the
what about
haters.
It's better than LexCorp because LexCorp doesn't fucking exist. So
I think you'll find it's Supercorp, Dan.
Oh my
Please get your
god!
ship names right before you.
I was so sorry.
Get
I'm
your
sorry.
ship names right,
Sorry.
Dan, before you start offending me.
Go call me a CUNT in the comment section while you suck on the dick of this relationship that will never happen ever on the show.
I will, because you are a sexist pig. And
I am, aren't I? Oh my god! Like honestly, I absolutely despise that ship. I absolutely despise.
Bad. It makes no sense.
They're so vile as well. Like I thought Caramel was vile, but Supercorp is like on a different level, man.
Yeah. It's amazing all these sub fandoms that come out of like just one central fandom.
Goodness me.
But
this is why I like Banshee. You don't. This is why Banshee is the best show because you don't have any of this shit. You got people breathing down your necks trying to kill you for not liking his shit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's because we all know that Snow Barry's king. We'll get to
no.
We'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, Nia and Brainy, I don't hate this relationship. It's fine. It's functional. It works. But this obviously all serves to the purpose that Nia actually does suit up in this episode as Dreamer. We get to see her in the costume that we got a couple weeks ago. And she basically comes in, fights Menagerie for some reason. And yeah, that's it, really.
How can she fight that well? I don't care if you can see things in the future. You shouldn't be able to fight that well. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Training, yeah. I mean, we're going to get some training with Brainy, it looks like. But yeah, I mean, I don't think the boyfriend/mentor relationship is very healthy. I don't think that's going to work very well.
No.
But we'll see.
No.
Maybe Cara will train her, who knows.
Yeah, the only thing I will say though is that like they established in this episode that the suit that she has is she's inherited it from her mum. That must be a really well-fitting suit. Like, how does it fit her mum and perfectly fit her as well?
Didn't Brainy make the suit?
That's what I don't understand because it's like I thought they
gave her that book a couple weeks ago with all those designs in it.
Yeah, because I don't know why, but it's like I thought I remember there being a line of dialogue where I think they said like. But I can't remember now. I really can't remember.
They definitely said that the suit came from her mum. But then what confused me was I thought Brainy designed it. Because I remember that I'm pretty sure that the book that Brainy gave her had that exact suit design inside of it. I seem to remember seeing like the blue like suit design. So that's just like really crazy.
This show just doesn't make sense.
That's just like, I mean, have they seriously forgotten that like 2 weeks after? But yeah, also that is another big thing. You know, is her mum like the exact same BMI as as her daughter? The exact same.
Oh my god.
But I mean, I like the suit though. I do like the suit. I think it looks cool. I think Nicole Maines look good in it. It's just one of the things where it's just like everyone has to be a superhero, and I don't like how quickly this has come about.
Yeah.
I mean, we spoke about this when this suit reveal first came out. I wish they would have maybe left this until next season and just like trained her up a little bit. Like, fine training her. Start training her this season. Because again, I always bring up the example of Roy on Arrow. Like, he didn't become a full proper member of Team Arrow really until season 3. And I think they did that perfect. Like, season 1 was the introduction to the character. Season 2 was the training. Season 3, he was now a member of the team. I feel like that's what they should have done here, but whatever. It's
because now with all these shows, they just want to, especially when it comes to trying to make a character a superhero, they just rush it so badly because it's like, oh, everyone's impatient.
Yeah.
I'm fine with waiting an entire season for it. I'm fine for it.
Like, that's why it was a cool payoff when Roy finally got the red suit. Like, it was really cool. And, like, you know, the thing is, like, you need to actually make it realistic. Like, I mean, this was to a lesser extent, but, like, I think Ralph was kind of the same on The Flash last season. Like, he became the elongated man pretty quick. I mean, obviously, I think the difference as well, and maybe the way they would justify it, the writers, is that these characters have superpowers, whereas, like, obviously, Arrow is very grounded, so they actually need to be trained to fight. But if you've got superpowers, especially someone like Nia, whose powers, quite frankly, are weak in a, you know, sort of offensive standpoint, if you can't fight, you're still pretty screwed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure Oliver could take her down pretty easily.
Oh, definitely.
You know. So yeah, I mean, this episode overall, I thought it was fine. You don't.
Yeah. No. I reckon you will have the same thing on this as we do for most episodes of The Flash, where you'll say, "Oh, it's fine," but then within about 2 weeks, you'll forget half of what happens in the episode, and you'll realize it wasn't that great. Because that's what I think it is.
I kind of watched it and I was like, yeah, I didn't hate that. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a
but would you ever rewatch it though?
I guess there's your answer. No.
Exactly. Man wins debate again. He's won 3 in a row. He won the Dragon one. He won the Flash one. He wins this one. I did win the Dragon one. Everybody in the comment section agreed with me.
Back in our first episode when we had no views.
What do you mean, boy? Everybody agreed with me. The Dragon was lit, fam. That end scene where he burned that guy. Crispy.
Yeah, some cool moments. There were some cool moments, but...
It was a good episode. It was a really good episode.
Too late, though. Too late.
It wasn't, though. I don't care.
Episode 14.
Well, when we get into these scrap concepts and you'll see why, then you can go blame the Arrow showrunners, okay? You can go blame them for it, because it was their fault. They'd actually stuck to
rejected concepts and storylines. Instead of our reviews for The Flash and Arrow, we're going to be going through all these Reddit leaks that have come out this week for both Flash and Arrow. So we're going to go through each of the seasons for each of the shows. We're going to start off with The Flash. So let's just dive into it. We have Season 1. So, strap yourselves in. I'm just going to rattle through all these, and then obviously we can discuss each one. So, Season 1, Barry uses his forensic abilities to determine his enemies' weaknesses and defeat them, changed so the rest of the team can have a more active role in the missions.
Interesting. I would have liked this, but I can see why they changed it. But, I mean, you can see elements of it, because, in the early episodes, they very much focused in a lot on, Barry CSI stuff.
That's what annoys me, though, because we never see that again. In the pilot, there's, Barry's, on the floor, and you get to see, what he's thinking. That's actually only in that episode. That's never used again, and it's really annoying, because that was really cool.
Yeah, I think they did. I think Pagey brought this up as well in his video, but I think he said that, because I remember, because I own the Season 1, Flash Blu-ray, and I've listened to the audio commentary, and I think Andrew Kreisberg stated in there that it was investing too much time.
Yeah.
And it was just obviously they did have a lot of it there, but they cut it out for time reasons. So I can understand why, but as someone who really likes that sort of stuff, I would have loved to have seen more of it. But yeah, I can understand why they changed it, because you don't want to make the rest of the team feel useless, especially when they're all supposed to be scientists.
Yeah. Iris is a psychology student interning at CCPD as a junior criminal profiler, changed to be closer to the comics. Yeah, that was for the best.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I don't really know what difference it would have made necessarily, but I guess obviously they just wanted to avoid fan outrage. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I think it's for the better, but whatever.
Yeah. I think I've read on one of these as well that apparently they said that originally she wasn't going to be Barry's sister, half sister. That's what I remember on one of them. I can't remember which one it was.
That would have been better for the relationship aspect, probably.
Yeah, a lot better. A lot better. I think.
What you say, it is still a bit weird.
It is still a bit weird that they were brother and sister for half their years, half the time together, and now they're married. Sorry guys, it is weird.
It's not even in a southern state. Eddie is a douchebag hotshot who dislikes Barry. He transferred to Central City after accidentally killing his partner and covering it up to protect his career.
What a great guy.
Changed as they thought making Barry's rival a nice guy was a more interesting take. I'm not sure about that. I think that would have been pretty interesting, actually. They would have made Eddie this horrible guy who just he killed his own partner and covered it up. That'd be a pretty interesting reveal if Iris was still, if they did the whole Iris dating him thing and Barry was onto his case and then eventually it's all revealed. That would actually be pretty cool.
It maybe
got his sacrifice at the end of the season.
Yeah. But maybe that would have led to him becoming a big time villain. Future Down, you never know. Later on in the season,
I'm still holding out for that. I'm still holding out for one day. Cobalt Boy, you know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting. Caitlin is older, had a past relationship with Harrison Wells, and her not-so-dead boyfriend is Kyle Nimbus, slash The Mist. She was aged down to replace Hartley in the core trio, and her fiancé was changed into Ronnie Raymond Firestorm to be closer to the comics. No. Caitlin in a past relationship with Harrison Wells?
No.
No. In regards to, replacing Hartley, do you remember who Hartley is?
Yeah, Hartley. Yeah,
the Piper.
Yeah, Hartley, the Pied Piper. Yeah, who used to be part of the team. Yeah, I did like him as a character, but as they state further on, why they cut him out, I can understand why.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely I'm happy that they changed this because I don't think I would have been down for this at all.
It's a bit weird. I mean, it's probably weirder reading it now, and then looking back on it. Whereas if it would have gone with this, obviously it would have been the way it was. But it seems so strange to me. Hartley is a part of the team, has a friendly rivalry with Cisco, and is initially more concerned with salvaging his career than protecting the scene. Changed to streamline the cast, and Caitlin took over this role. Yeah, I mean, I guess this adds more diversity to the cast by having a female cast member there. Hartley, I think, came across a lot more interesting as a villain, and given like his past and stuff. Like, it was quite cool that he worked with, because it was cool to have like an original connection to Star Labs, who then became a villain. I think that was quite cool. Now this one, I'm really happy didn't happen.
Oh, same.
Joe is killed by the mist in the pilot episode, changed because, and I quote, Jesse L. Martin was just too awesome to waste. Now,
I've never heard more truthful words.
Yeah, never had there been a truer statement. Yes, Jesse L. Martin is way too awesome to waste on any show, and I'm glad they didn't do this. We can't kill Papa Joe, even though he is going to die this season, I'm predicting.
Do you think he'll die this season, or do you think he will leave? As in, go elsewhere.
Well, all I'm saying is those cop killing guns are they're really suspicious.
Oh my god!
Like,
you are hell bent convinced on this, aren't you? He's gonna die.
I'm just saying, I just know the way TV works, and I'm just saying, you don't focus on something like that in such a capacity as they did if they're not going to use it and bring it back later on. And it might not be Joe. Like I said, it could be someone like Captain Singh, but maybe if Joe is leaving the season, which is rumored, I think he could die because I can't see them killing Cisco. So, and we got to have at least one death this season. So, yeah,
we will see.
Snart and Rory are metahumans, changed to be closer to the comics. Yeah, definitely a good decision there.
Definitely.
Simply put, yep. Dr. Light would be featured as a metahuman former Star Lab scientist seeking revenge against Wells. Hartley took over this role. Dr. Light's quite an interesting villain, actually, from the comics. He was actually going to be the villain of the Flash movie for a while, if that movie's ever going to happen.
Which it never will, and if it does, Ezra Miller won't be in it.
Thank God. But yeah, sure, whatever. Again, a lot of these are just like name changes, really, more than anything else.
Yeah.
Like, they say it's like, a different character took over the role, but it's basically just like a different name. And the final one for season 1...
I bet this is one that breaks your heart the most, doesn't it?
Barry and Caitlin would hook up, changed after Grant Gustin suggested they sped up the Barry and Iris relationship. Fuck you, Grant Gustin. No, I'm not going to be one of those people who is one of those insane chippers. I'm just saying, when I was watching season 1, back when I was catching up on all these shows, I was so adamant that Barry and Caitlin were going to get together because it just made so much sense in my head, and then they just didn't. And I guess I did become a bit of a shipper of those. I've kind of
yes, you are. You are a shipper. You follow like 6 different accounts with Snow Barry in them.
Accounts.
You do. I've seen it.
I think I follow like 1.
No, and I've seen you liking posts by them. You sent me posts of them on private messages. This man's obsessed with them.
I do like the Snow Barry. It just made sense to me, but it never happened. So whatever. Season 2. I like the season 2 ones. These are some really cool ones.
Yeah.
Zoom is Earth 2's Barry Allen, changed because the writers fell in love with Jay Garrick / Hunter Zolomon twist. They still used most of Earth 2 Barry's original characterization for Hunter. Now, I think the big theory for Zoom was that it was Barry Allen Earth 2.
Yeah, because they had a lot of similarities, didn't they, with like the past? So
yeah, so a lot of people thought that was going to be the case. But I quite like the Jay Garrick Hunter Zolomon twist. I thought it was pretty cool. It really did throw me for a loop when I watched it.
Do you still understand this to this day? I'm only asking because you obviously.
No, I understand it. It's just I remember because this is the thing. When I was watching this, like I say, catching up on these shows.
Yeah. So
I hadn't watched much TV, and I wasn't really that much. I wasn't really familiar with these kind of twists. So like when I watched the season 2, I think it was the season 2 finale when this was revealed. I literally, after the whole reveal thing, I paused it for about 10 minutes and I just had to sit there and think while I thought it through in my head and got it right in my head. Because I was still pretty confused about the whole Earth 2 thing and all the doppelgangers and stuff like that. And I was confused by like the Earth 1 Hunter Zolomon and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm very much in the clear. But yeah, I mean, this is fine. And like I say, most of the characterization came through for Hunter Zolomon anyway, so it's basically the same thing. Jay is not Zoom, but a roguish speedster from Earth 2 who joins forces with Barry to stop Zoom. They clash at first, but slowly become friends, and Jay grows into a true hero. He would still hook up with Caitlin, changed due to the Jay/Hunter twist. I do like this idea. This was quite cool.
Yeah.
Like a kind of roguish speedster who, kind of grows from a kind of foe into a friend. I guess that's kind of what Ralph was, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ralph, but then also a little bit of Wally as a speedster as well, as then obviously Barry having to train another speedster.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit roguish. But no, that does seem cool. That does seem quite interesting. But again,
if he would have stuck around afterwards.
Yeah. But just if it wouldn't have been one of those things where it's like they're around for one season to do all this and then they fuck off and we never see him again.
Or they die. Because they still said it would still hook up with Caitlin. So when I read that, I basically mean he would still die.
Oh, now this next one does piss me off. This next one pisses me off a lot.
Patty was supposed to stick around, learning Barry's secret identity and join Team Flash. She would have likely been promoted to the main cast in season 3. Yeah, that's annoying. Patty was such a good character. Patty was such a good character.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I really liked her and Barry together.
Yeah, me too.
West Island fans gonna give me shit for this again. I preferred them together.
Me too.
I honestly thought that those two, like the actors, had really good chemistry. I just loved the character, and that was the thing when she was written off and like early in the second half of the season, it felt so rushed to me because it was like they obviously gave her that big story in like what was it, episode 9?
Yeah.
With Weather Wizard, and then like 2 episodes later, all of a sudden she's gone, which I just found really strange. So like,
it's really
this makes a lot of sense. I would have loved to have seen her as a main cast member.
Yeah, she was really cool. Like I really like Patty as a character. I remember watching season 2. I was like, I really like her. She's cool. And yeah, I like them as a couple. The fact she was also a cop was really interesting. Yeah, I'm sad about that. I'm really sad about that.
Oh no.
Iris would actually date her editor Scott Evans for a while since Barry and Patty were not supposed to break up so soon. Yeah, sure. Well, that's not much to say about that, really.
No.
This one's interesting, though. Ronnie was supposed to stick around, but had to be killed off and replaced by Jax when Robbie Amell couldn't commit to Legends of Tomorrow. So basically, Robbie Amell would have been Firestorm, forever, for like as long as Jax was on the show, I suppose. So yeah, that's basically what they're saying. Is instead of Jax on Legends, it would have been Ronnie. Definitely interesting because I always felt like Ronnie never got his due.
No.
Because he kind of came in like in season 1, he had that storyline obviously where he was kind of mental and was going around, and then he kind of came in at the end and he got to fight Reverse Flash in that awesome fight scene.
Yeah.
With Oliver as well, and obviously he was the hero sort of at the end with the thingy, but. Yeah, this is quite sad. I would have liked to have seen Ronnie stick around because I've been waiting for Ronnie to come back as well. At some point, like be it a different version or whatever. There was a theory about him being Savitar for a while.
Oh,
I remember that
one. Everybody must have been linked to Savitar at one point.
I remember the Ronnie theory because it only lasted for a week, and it was the episode before the reveal when he steps out
and then Killer Frost is just like, "I'll do anything you want." It's just like it's Robbie.
Yeah. I mean, sure, but I mean, to be honest, I'm glad Jax was there because I like Jax. I really like Jax. So.
You just love Fran's drama. You and him, your besties, aren't you? Your best buds.
He's my best mate, yeah. So I'm glad we got him. General Eileen was supposed to be a recurring antagonist for Firestorm, but was cut when Ronnie was killed and Stein and Jax were moved to Legends. So that's actually really cool. So basically, Firestorm was going to be like a main character then in season 2 if they wouldn't have done Legends. So he would have been like a main character and would have had his own storyline and like his own villain. That's pretty cool. That would have been a pretty interesting one. Because I really like Firestorm as a character.
Yeah.
Like, be it either the Ronnie version or the Jax version, I really like Firestorm. So, yeah. But then, obviously, they wanted to put Firestorm on Legends, so that's what
Yeah, so it made sense not to have him there. Because otherwise, if you have him there without Firestorm, because they are really integral to his story, it just wouldn't have made sense to have him back. Like, there would have been no point to it.
Yeah. Legends of Tomorrow was originally envisioned as a mid-season show, and Snart and Rory were at one point supposed to come back to the Flash to keep assembling the Rogues. Yeah, it's a bit weird that we've never officially gotten the Rogues, really. Like, we've had them individually, but never as a team.
No. I mean, they're kind of teasing it now with the young Rogues. Yeah, new Rogues, but
I think there was something like that later on. But I'm fine either way. Like, I really like having Snart and Rory on Legends. Like, I think Snart had a really good story in season 1, and obviously the hero sacrifice and things like that. And Mick is just a legendary character, so like, he's amazing.
Mick's just Mick. We will always love Mick.
No matter where he falls. Like, to be honest, I think Mick's been better on Legends because he's been able to kind of grow into his own character.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas on The Flash, he was always Snart's sidekick. And even in Season 1 of Legends, he was like that. And then when he got to Season 2, after Snart died, he kind of grew into his own character. And I love him now. He's so good. Mirror Master and Dr. Alchemy would have been introduced as part of the Rogue storyline, so that kind of connects into the last one. Obviously, these two characters eventually didn't come until Season 3. And then the real Jay Garrick was originally planned to be Earth 3's Eddie Thawne, rather than Earth 3's Henry Allen. Cool,
but I think I would have preferred it to see Jay the villain. Yeah. Well, sorry, Eddie is the villain. I think I would have preferred that, so I am happy that he's changed it.
What is Rick Cosnett doing?
I don't know. I've not really like. Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, he was in a show. Plans. Yeah, because it makes me wonder because I don't think he's been particularly that active since he's left the Flash, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
like I don't think he's done that much.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, because we've only ever had Eddie back once, I think it was, which was in Season 3 for one episode. Like, he came back for that Speed Force episode. Like, we had Ronnie in that one as well. So yeah, I mean. I think they will bring back Eddie in a big way at some point. It's just waiting to see when, really. Like I said, I really thought like it could have been Savitar, it could have been whatever, but yeah, Cobalt Blue is the best one though. Season 3 now. The writers this is great. The writers admitted that they did not fully plan the season, resulting in many forgotten plot points like the Star Labs Museum, Savitar's plans for Jesse, the appearance of the Accelerated Man,
Savitar's scars, Savitar's suit,
everything else to do with Savitar, his scars,
Black Flash,
calcified Speed Force energy.
Can they just apply this for like every season after Season 2? They might as well have just stated this at the top thing. The writers didn't plan out the season. The writers didn't plan out the season.
It's just like, it's so obvious. Like, it's kind of funny that they admit it. I mean, obviously these are all leaks. These aren't official, but like, you know, it's kind of funny that it's just like there. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, we all kind of knew it, but at least we finally get it now. Because there were so many things, and at least they get, like, you mentioned the Accelerated Man as well. Like, one of the most underwhelming things ever for the Flash. Like, we've all been like so excited. Do you remember how excited we were last season when we heard the Accelerated Man was coming back for an episode, and it was literally like a 2-second cameo where you don't even see him.
I know.
It's like episode 19 or something. Ridiculous. Mirror Master and Top were meant to replace Snart and Rory as the leaders of the Rogues, but fans didn't really respond to them, and Grey Damon was cast in a movie shortly afterwards and had to be written out, axing the new Rogue story. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's a shame because
they were in, but yeah.
Yeah, I was excited for them, but yeah, I can understand why. Like, I didn't really respond to them anywhere near as much as, like you say, as Snart or Rory. They didn't hold a candle to them. So I guess maybe that's why, that's what made him decide not to go through with it.
Yeah. The Rival was at some point considered for a recurring role as Wally's own speedster rival, while Savitar would be Barry's. I wouldn't have hated this.
No.
A costume upgrade would have been nice for the Rival, but other than that, I thought the Rival, was quite interesting. I would have liked to have seen more from him outside of the one Flashpoint episode. And it would have given Wally a bit more something to do.
Yeah.
But Wally was really heavily tied into Savitar, so I don't know. I guess maybe they would have changed Savitar's story, but as we know, they didn't plan the season. Julian was supposed to struggle against Savitar's influence and the return of Dr. Alchemy throughout the season, but never really did that after Team Flash freed him in the mid-season finale. So yeah.
I always wondered about that. Like, why was it after episode 9 all of a sudden it's just like,
he was
Savitar can't get me anymore. Yeah. Also, there's another one that I think you told me about this ages ago that's scrapped that they haven't mentioned here, which was that, like, I think they already mentioned it here, but like the Rogues, because weren't they, like you say, they were going to do that and then they kind of changed it to Savitar, didn't they? Because didn't they originally plan to have, what was it, the Rogues as the big bad?
No, the original plan for season 3, at least this is what I heard anyway. This is like a big theory that's gone around and like a big sort of leak that went around ages ago. Basically, the original plan was they were going to do a metahuman war in Star City where basically Savitar was the cult leader. Like, because do you remember the whole cult of Savitar thing? And how it just never went anywhere. Well, originally what they were going to do, like, because the first half of the season was building up to this metahuman war. Like, you had Savitar as the leader of the cult of Savitar. Doctor Alchemy was going around creating these metahumans, like creating his army essentially, and they were going to take on all of them. And then eventually, halfway through the season, they were like, okay, let's kill Iris instead. Because if you notice, about halfway through the season, there's a massive switch in like tone and story, and that's why. Yeah, that's what the original story is. At least that's what I heard anyway, and that lines up as far as I see it. But yeah, Doctor Alchemy. I mean, I actually quite like Doctor Alchemy. I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, they didn't really do much with him, especially with Julian. So anyway,
yeah.
Speaking of Julian, season 4, Julian was going to be promoted to a main cast in season 4, but Tom Felton unfortunately did not want to return. That surprises me actually. I thought, because I've seen like Tom Felton talking about how he wants to come back.
Yeah, originally I heard that it was because he was on the second highest like amount paid per episode behind Grant Gustin, even though he was like only a guest star. And I heard apparently that's the reason I let go of him, was because they just felt he was too expensive, and because like fans didn't really respond to him.
Well, I mean, because that was Malfoy.
Yeah, because that was the original theory. But like hearing this is completely different.
Yeah,
and yeah, it doesn't really line up with what Tom Felton said like at conventions. So it's weird, but I would have him back. I did enjoy Julian as a character.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, I just don't know how he would exactly fit into it.
He probably would have stuck around with Caitlyn, and then he would have died. So, Ralph. Oh, here we go. Ralph and Caitlyn would get together, but Danielle Panabaker objected since Caitlyn had already been involved with Jay and Julian. So I mean, again, that was a theory going around. Ralph and Caitlyn would get together. I still feel like there's chemistry there. I'm not saying it will happen, but like I'm saying that in season 5, I still feel like the writers are hinting towards it. Like they're, especially even like with Killer Frost more so than Caitlyn. Which would be really weird if, like, oh my god, imagine they do that. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past them. Imagine they do this, right? Killer Frost and Ralph are in a relationship.
There's a new character that's introduced to Flash. The immediate assumption whenever a new character is introduced is just like, oh, they're just going to get with Caitlyn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just so weird.
No matter the age.
Yeah. Gypsy would recur throughout the season and stay with Cisco, but had to be written out when Jessica Camargo was cast in another show. This makes me sad, because I liked the Gypsy and Cisco relationship. I like Gypsy a lot as a character, but I mean, this wasn't like really a writer's decision. Obviously, like say the lead actress got cast in another show, so they had to write her out, which is fair enough. It makes me sad just 'cause I really like that character, but yeah, they had to write her out, I suppose.
Yeah, the best relationship.
It was good. Jesse had to be written out due to Violet Bean's other commitments, and Wally was moved to Legends shortly afterwards. So, what? So, was Jesse leaving the show and Wally leaving to Legends? Was that like a direct reaction?
Well, that's the thing, because Wally moved to Legends. I always thought that happened before they made plans to write Violet Bean out of the show. I don't know.
Yeah, and I always thought the whole reason with Wally leaving was because nobody knew about him. Everyone just like sidelined him the entire time, which is true, especially in season 4. But I mean, I was happy Wally went to Legends, and even though he wasn't on Legends for very long, it was the best that character was ever used. So whatever. Big Sir was supposed to return later in the season and figure into DeVoe's plan somehow, but never did.
Who's Big Sir? I always forget.
He was the guy. He was the guy who was in prison with Oliver. The wrestler guy, Goldberg.
Oh, him.
Yeah, the guy who like protected Barry. Because he was like.
Yeah, I always just refer to him as Goldberg.
Yeah. So it was like the guy who was friends with Barry's dad when he was in prison, and now he looked after Barry as well. Yeah, he was an alright character, but not particularly too. He was kind of just there for that storyline. I don't really see how he would have figured in later on. Because there's no real details on that.
Whenever you remind me of the Flash's prison storyline, it just makes me realise how shit it is in comparison to Arrow.
Yeah. Tracy Brand was also supposed to return, but never did. Yeah, that was weird. Tracy was like, because she was in like the last bit of season 3, and then just never was mentioned. I think she was mentioned once or twice. That's it. Never to be seen again. And I liked her. I liked the actress as well, which was cool. But I guess maybe after HR died, she didn't want to stick around. Maybe. Oh, this is great. Amunet was envisioned as a secondary antagonist with her own team of metahuman henchmen, but was slowly changed into more of an anti-hero, with only one notable henchman, Norvok, aka Snake Eye. Tragic. Yeah, I mean...
Could they have just cut her out?
Yeah,
could they just cut her out?
And it annoys me because Katie Sackhoff is a really good actress, and she's really fun. It's just the accent, man. It's so obnoxious. And yeah, the character was just annoying. Norvok, who they for some reason brought back this season, is I mean, we finally get his brilliant origin story.
Oh, brilliant, beautiful origin story. It made me cry, man, when I saw how he got that snake in his eye.
I know, it just makes no sense. And then finally for season 4, this one really, I'm still waiting for this. There were rumours about a 2-parter set in Earth 3, exploring Jay's backstory and introducing his mysterious female protege, but that didn't come through. Yeah, can we get that, please? I've been waiting for this for ages. Like, I really want to go to Earth 3 more. Like, I think we've only ever been once, and it was like once in season 3. I really want to actually fully explore Earth 3. And again, a 2-parter. We haven't had a 2-parter since season 3. And yeah, exploring Jay's backstory. I love Jay. Let's get more of that. And yeah, his mysterious female speedster who he was training. Yeah, can we get... It's a potential Avery Ho from the comics.
Yeah, I really want to see this as well because I love Jay and I just love going to different Earths with the Flash because you just getting to explore more of the multiverse. So yeah, I really want to see this, but
I hope we get this eventually. I think this is like because this sort of thing you can bring in any time really. Like they could do it this season.
Yeah.
It won't be this season.
Well, they could do really because I mean it's Jay mentoring another speedster, and that's essentially what Barry's doing with his daughter. So you can kind of play with that. So it definitely could work. It's just I don't know. I just don't think they'll probably write it in this season because the Flash writers, because Todd Helbing, that's too above his level. That is as a writer.
Yeah, he's not that intelligent, I'm afraid. And then finally, season 5. There's only 2 for these. There were rumours that Sue Dibney would be introduced as a digital influencer who teams up with Iris for a new project, considering there's been a digital influencer, who is Spencer Young, and Iris is embarking on a new project. There was probably some truth to that. Yeah, I mean, this could have been interesting. I mean, Sue Dibney is obviously Ralph's wife from the comics. I reckon they will introduce this character at some point for as long as Ralph is on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Spencer Young character's kind of taken that role, I suppose. Yeah. Whatever. I don't. There's not really much to that.
No.
And then the final one, and this is something like we spoke about when this episode came around.
Yeah.
A deleted scene alluded to Weather Wizard reforming the Rogues with Ragdoll as his first recruit, which seems to have been dropped in favour of the Young Rogues. Yeah, that's a bit annoying.
Yeah, I would have much preferred to see this than the Young Rogues, by far.
Yeah, because the members of the Young Rogues are just not as good, quite frankly.
No, most of the actors are just not good at all.
Yeah, like Weather Wizard is really cool. Ragdoll was really cool. I loved Ragdoll. I thought he was awesome. Like, just so creepy and weird. I really, yeah. And I think there's a lot of truth to that because, like I say, it was a deleted scene that they just released on YouTube, like immediately after the episode came out. It was really weird. Yeah, I don't know what their plan is with that, but then again, if they released it on YouTube immediately, it makes me think, are they still got plans for this? But then how would they fit into the season? I don't know. It's a strange one. But yeah, that's all the ones for the Flash. Any in particular that stick out to you? Like for me, I really want that 2-parter in Earth 3. I really want that.
Yeah, the 2-parter in Earth 3 definitely.
We haven't had a 2-parter since season 3.
Yeah,
and it
feels
really
like
cool. Like I love the 2-parters because they're just they come out and you get I mean, this was back when the Flash was good, so that's probably why we haven't had them. But season 2 we got the Earth 2 one, season 3 the Gorilla Grodd one, which I thought was gonna be terrible, but it was actually pretty good. I missed them. They're cool.
Yeah, I thought they're pretty good. I think I definitely have to throw Patty in there as well, but that's just because I really like Patty as a character, so I would have really liked to have seen her.
I like Patty as well. Okay, now move over to our favourite Arrow. There are some really cool ones in here.
Yeah.
So let's just get amongst it. So season 1, and obviously this one's got a bit more because there's more seasons. Tommy would originally become Oliver's arch nemesis, but the character became so popular that producers decided to have Tommy die a hero instead and inspire Oliver to become a better person. Yeah, I think that works better than Tommy being the villain. So because Tommy would have been the Dark Archer essentially.
Yeah, so I kind of like that because of them playing against the expectations to the comics. Because like you say in the comics, he's obviously becomes the Dark Archer. So
yeah, no,
I liked how they worked around his character in the end because they kind of teased it, and then in the finale, obviously, he kind of redeems himself. And yeah, I think this was definitely the best way to go with it. So I'm happy this didn't happen.
Yeah, plus it put because I have to say, Tommy dying in the finale was a massive, punch, and it was also a massive shock to me as well. Because I've said this before, the reason why I like the season 1 finale so much is because I remember watching it, and again, you need to think of this as from my perspective when watching season 1 of Arrow. Arrow was the first sort of proper TV show I watched, so I was I was not familiar with all these kind of twists and stuff, and I was watching the finale thinking, oh yeah, we have this threat and there's this massive bomb, and but it'll save the day and it'll all be fine. And then the season 1 finale, the Glades blow up and Tommy dies. I was like, what? So yeah, I'm glad that happened. Moira would originally be the mastermind behind the undertaking. Producers liked Susanna Thompson so much that they made her a reluctant participant to keep her around for another season. I don't know. I mean, I love Moira so much. Like, she's one of my favourite characters ever. I love Moira. Making her the mastermind behind the Undertaker, I like her as kind of the reluctant, because Malcolm had so much dirt on her and so much stuff going on. I think it works better in that sense, and also having Moira in season 2, we got some great moments with Moira in season 2, like her in prison, in Iron Heights, and the whole kind of mayoral stuff. I think Moira had like a great story in season 2. So and obviously ending in Slade.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think whatever exit they could have envisioned for in season 1 would have been as good as the one she had in season 2. So automatically, I'm happy they stuck with what they did.
Yeah, plus because Moira was such a good character, so it's just and they gave her such a good story and such a good ending. It's brilliant.
That entire scene in episode 20, man. Oh my god,
it's such an incredible moment. Diggle did not originally exist, but the producers quickly realised that Oliver needed someone to interact with about his crime-fighting activities. I mean, I think we kind of already knew that. That was kind of... Because, like, Diggle wasn't even a character from the comics, so they just needed a character, and they needed a black sidekick, and that's what they did. And this is going to enlighten all of the Olicity fans out there. Felicity was slated to appear in only 2 episodes, but became so popular, she became a recurring character and was later promoted to the main cast.
Fuck's sake.
I mean, the thing is, though, in season 1, season 2, this wasn't bad. Like, we all liked in season 1 and season 2. Because she was a good character back then. It's only when we got to season 3 where she started to dwindle. So, So, for season 1, I don't have a problem with this. It's just, it's kind of crazy when you think about how big of a character Felicity is now. And then originally the writers, like, she was never meant to be this big in the show. She was literally meant to be, like, a cameo, essentially.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Carly Diggle would originally be Diggle's main love interest, but audiences did not respond well to the character, and she was quickly written out and replaced by Lila in season 2. I quite liked Carly in season 1. I always kind of forget about her, and I guess maybe that's a
exactly that is why she was written out, my friend.
Yeah. But also that kind of like the Barry and Iris thing, that relationship was a bit weird.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like Diggle's sister-in-law, so it's a bit weird.
So plus, we all love Lila.
Like, we all love Lila. She's coming onto the Flash in the next episode. I'm excited. Yeah, did you know that Lila's on the Flash? In the episode? I'm so excited. Man. I love Lila. She's awesome. Edward Fires' Enforcer would originally be Slade Wilson, but producers ultimately decided it was more interesting to make Slade Oliver mentor turned enemy and change the Enforcer into Billy Wintergreen. Yeah, I agree with that. That whole storyline with Slade works so well because of the camaraderie between Oliver and Slade. Yeah, that worked. That works.
Oh, definitely.
Onomatopoeia was slated to appear, but producers felt his gimmick was too difficult to translate and replaced him with Mr. Blank.
Yeah, I definitely... This was one that I remember a lot of people saying that Mr. Blank was meant to be Onomatopoeia.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree that Onomatopoeia is a bit of a difficult character to bring into the live action, because he is very a silly comics villain.
Yeah.
So I do kind of agree with that. I mean, he's very cool, but his gimmick, like they say, his gimmick is very difficult.
Yeah, some things they just don't translate well to live action. This is definitely one of them. Like, if you had... Imagine that in the episode, like,
just
the entire...
Bang.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Oliver's going around killing people. It's just like, you have that happening,
the only person who can get away with saying bang is Daredevil. Is the Punisher on Daredevil. That works. Nothing else works. The Royal Flush Gang was slated to appear later down the season, but ultimately never did. Who were they?
I think, if I remember correctly, it was the... What was it? I think it was the family. Remember those family of robbers in season 1?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to Google these. I'm going to Arrowverse wiki these guys.
Yeah.
If I just type in Flush. These names going to... Hang on. Flush. Royal Flush Gang. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. So it's those bank robbers. That family of robbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. They were just kind of like one-off villains anyway, so... Whatever. This one's really interesting. Malcolm would originally be Oliver's biological father, but Stephen Amell and John Barrowman believed that it would be cliche and suggested that Malcolm be Thea's father instead. To be honest, this could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Like if it was Thea or Oliver. But I guess it makes more. I guess what they really wanted to do with Oliver is because obviously Oliver's so heavily influenced by his father and all that, and the core story of Arrow is so dependent on that story. So I guess in the long run that works better.
Yeah. I think, like they say, it would just be really cliche because like one of the big cliches of comic books is like, oh, the villain was your dad the whole time. I'm your father now. No, I am happy that they ultimately changed it.
Yeah.
Because it just wouldn't, like I say, it would have been too cliche, which just wouldn't fit Arrow season 1 with the tone.
Plus, I have to say as well, when I was watching Arrow, like, and catching up on, like, this was like the first 4 seasons I had to catch up on. Like, I knew most of the spoilers, but the one I didn't know was that Malcolm was Thea's father, and that completely blew me away because it was like it was the one spoiler I didn't know. So that was pretty good reveal. And finally, this one hurts.
Oh, this man is well and truly triggered.
This hurts. Oliver and Laurel would originally be the endgame couple, but early negative fan reaction to Laurel, coupled with Sarah and Felicity's popularity, caused them to start to pivot away from that relationship in season 2. By season 3, they had abandoned the Oliver-Laurel relationship altogether in favour of Olicity. I get what they're saying with the early fan reaction to Laurel. I wasn't a big fan of Laurel in the first season, I won't lie to you. I thought she was a bit annoying. I only started to come around to her in season 2 when she got a good storyline.
But I think
she was a bit annoying. I won't lie.
But then again, I think in season 1, a lot of the female characters, apart from Felicity and Moira, they weren't that good. I mean, like I say, Carly wasn't really very memorable. I thought Thea was quite annoying as well in season 1. So I don't think it wasn't just Laura. I think it was just because there were just some characters that they just didn't write with as much attention to detail. Like season 2, I thought she was a lot better.
Yeah, like her storyline in season 2 is really good. Her storyline in season 3 is really good. And in 4, but
yeah. I mean, just the fact that the showrunners completely abandoned their own concept and just went for Olicity, it just screamed the fact that they didn't give a fuck about the continuity. Yeah. And I don't really need to speak much about Olicity because anybody who knows me, anybody who's seen my channel or my infamous rants on Arrow knows that I don't like Olicity at all. Like, I just don't like it. It represents everything wrong with fandoms. So, yeah, I'm not happy that it resulted in this. This is probably why nothing will ever top season 1 and 2 for me, because I just liked those two together. Obviously, Laurel as a character by herself, questionable at times, but I did like them together. This one definitely hurts me a lot.
Yeah, that one, it does sting a little bit. So moving on to season 2, arguably the best season.
Oh, it isn't the best season. Man shouldn't be saying arguably. It is factually the best season.
Season 1.
No, season 1. Season 1's okay, but it's very. All right then.
Season 1's great.
Yeah, but the thing is with season 1 is that it's one of those where it starts off good, but I would say with Arrow season 2, there were just so many high moments. Like the story was better. It built upon season 1 in every single way. Like season 1 isn't bad, but it's just that with season 2 they took more risks. They incorporated all the stuff from season 1, such as the Oliver and Slade relationship. How they built upon that with the second season. They introduced more characters, and they managed to make them well developed and well written. For me, I think season 2 is out and out better because it improves on season 1 every way. Like season 1 ain't bad. It's just I think season 2 improves on it in every way.
I guess everything is stepped up to 11 in season 2, which does kind of put it above.
Yeah, because the thing with season 1 is that there aren't that many outstandingly great episodes. There's no episode that I can class as bad at all. Yeah. But with season 1, the only episodes I could classify as great for me were arguably the pilot, the finale, episode 22, the one where Michael Merlin gets shot.
Yeah.
They're the ones that stick out to me. But with season 2, there's just a lot more. There's a lot more, and again, there's no bad episodes. So that's why, for me, I think season 2 is better.
That's fair. I will make an argument for season 7 once the season's over, because this is fucking perfect so far.
Nah, the flash forwards.
Slade's vendetta against Oliver would have originally been the result of a series of poor choices made by Oliver in his attempt to survive. Manu Bennett voiced his displeasure with how their feud was stripped down to just Slade's unrequited feelings for Shadow and her death. Yeah, I kind of get that. I mean, because that's basically what Slade's motivation was Oliver. Well, he saw Oliver as being responsible for killing Shadow.
Yeah. But I think also the fact that he lied to him for so long about it, and the fact, like you say, the injected with the Mirakuru that messed with his mind.
Yeah.
For me, I bought it enough.
Yeah, I bought it, yeah.
But I think maybe it would have been interesting to maybe add this as well, to add to that level of distrust with Oliver, and then for him to go even further and then lie to him about what happened with Shadow. Yeah. So maybe if they'd added that to it as well, I think it could have maybe helped just add a bit more layers to that. But I still brought it enough as it was.
And I can understand. Just still ended up being like an incredible villain because of his past.
Yeah.
Sarah would originally join forces with Slade on the island and returning to Starling City as Ravager before redeeming herself for Laurel. Producers ultimately decided it was more interesting to introduce Sarah as the Canary to steer Laurel towards a heroic fate. Yes, this was a much better decision.
Oh, far better.
They should not have made Sarah Ravager. I mean, I still don't like how they did Ravager anyway. Like, they made Isabel Rochev Ravager. I didn't like that. Anyway. Just because Ravager is meant to be Slade's daughter in the comics. Like, Ravager is Rose Wilson, so, I mean, it's already been confirmed, obviously, Slade has 2 sons, he doesn't have a daughter, but, yeah, I don't like how they did Ravager on the show, but it was definitely better to make Sarah the Canary, so much better, and then, yeah, obviously that helped Laurel in the future. Speaking of Isabel, she would have been just a corporate rival for Oliver and was seriously considered as his next romantic interest. The writers removed her for a large stretch of the season to figure out whether she would be a friend or foe, and ultimately decided to make her Ravager. So this basically tells me that they thought, okay, yeah, we'll leave her for now. We'll come back to her. Oh, damn, we've done nothing with her. Make her a villain. That's basically what this screams to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, I don't really like this because I don't like the fact they made a Ravager. I guess the corporate rival thing would have made sense given what Oliver's story was in season 2. The romantic thing... Not so sure about that. Yeah, that's a bit of a mixed bag, that one.
Yeah, there's some bits about it that I like, but there's some bits that I don't like either. Like making a romantic love interest, didn't work for me.
They had no chemistry, really. It wouldn't have worked.
No.
After Isabel became Slade's loyal enforcer, Sebastian, who up until that point was meant to be completely villainous, was given a tragic backstory and a redemption arc. I liked Sebastian Blood.
Yeah, I did like him, yeah.
He was a cool character.
Even though he looks exactly like Josh Segura.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
They're definitely related.
It's a problem. But I feel like, I thought his backstory was really interesting, especially because obviously him and Laurel were quite close. And Laurel got to dive into her backstory. You find out about his mother and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought that was quite cool. Yeah, I'm glad they went that way. Because Brother Blood, like, he was interesting, but I feel like once we found out his backstory, it made a lot of sense. And yeah, his redemption arc was cool. Laurel and Sebastian's relationship would have originally been a major subplot. Yep. Nope. Get rid of that.
Nope.
Father Daniel Flynn was slated to be a pivotal character in the flashback storylines, but was removed after 1 episode due to the actor's scheduling conflicts and replaced with another prisoner, Peter, in brackets, the dude with cancer. Father Daniel Flynn. I don't remember this character either. I'm gonna have to wiki this as well, because he was in 1 episode apparently, which is probably why we don't remember him. Father.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've spelled father wrong. Father Daniel Flynn. Let's see. This guy. Danielle Fowler. No. He's not even coming up on here. He's not even in this. He's not even in the wiki apparently.
Man, this man was so obscure he doesn't even appear here.
Damn. Well. Really? He's not anywhere on here. Okay, never mind.
Wow.
So, I don't know who that character is, so I really have no comment. And I don't remember who Peter is either. I don't remember who a lot of those characters... Because to be honest, the only character we remember from the Season 2 flashback storyline was Anatoly.
Yeah.
Because he recurs.
Well, yeah, I do remember the Peter guy, the one who had cancer, because he has that line...
Is that the guy who sacrifices himself?
The guy who sacrificed himself, and he has that line about... What was it again? I can't remember.
It was like about saving... His life isn't worth all theirs or whatever.
Yeah, and Oliver applies that in the modern day as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, mainly it's all about Anatoly. That's where it's at.
Because David Nichols the best.
Oh.
Where's he? He needs to come back this season. He's only been in 1 episode. Solomon Grundy was slated to return further down the season, but never did. I didn't like. I mean, Solomon Grundy was like a very like
Yeah,
grounded version of Solomon Grundy. Like,
yeah, and I always thought that he killed him as soon, or at least he'd subdued him. But I don't know. I never really saw him as a villain come back.
yeah, he served his purpose. Like, he did a cool. Like, he had like a really good moment. So I feel like it was fine without that. Huntress was slated to return in the following season, but never did. Have we never seen Huntress in season 2? Is that how long it's been? Season 2.
Yeah, season 2 is her last appearance.
She's been like rumored all the time to come back. There's always like a rumor every season she's gonna come back.
And then she just never does.
Never does. I would definitely like to see her come back though. She's cool. I
Yeah.
like Huntress. Like, we kind of got a little hint of her in the 150 episode. She got hurt. She had a fight with the anti-vigilante, so there is that. This one's very cool. There were talks about introducing Hal Jordan as an Air Force pilot stranded on Lian, but the character was unavailable. So basically, they wanted to use him, but Warner Brothers told them off, so they didn't. Sure. I mean, where would this have gone, though?
Yeah.
That's the question. Like, where would this have eventually led to? Like, would they do Green Lantern? Or would it have literally just been Hal Jordan? That's the question. Would this eventually link it to the Diggle John Stewart theory? Like, is
maybe.
that where this is going? Who knows? Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool, but like, I mean, we've had the Hal Jordan reference before. Like, I think it was in Flash. There was the jacket that said H Jordan on it. So he is.
Yeah, and we've had enough references to Coast City anyway.
Yeah, he's out there.
Yeah.
Episode 20 would be a backdoor pilot for the Flash, featuring Grant Gustin. But after the positive reception to his debut episode, the spin-off was ordered straight to pilot. Yeah, I mean, I actually think his like 2-parter crossover episode, I guess.
Yeah, was
good.
Yeah, that was more than good enough for him. Like to set it up. There. Yeah, because if I remember correctly, I think it was around episode 20 or it might have been episode 19. Wasn't that when we saw Cisco and Caitlin?
Yes,
that's when they introduced them.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe around about that, but maybe that's why they originally had it planned then. But it's like, oh, we've got the series, we'll just introduce these 2 characters who'll be a part of it.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the plan all along. But yeah, I'm happy they ultimately didn't do it because given how the season played out, I don't really know how making a dual pilot for it as well would have fitted in very well.
Yeah, because like I think those 2 episodes act perfectly well as backdoor pilots for the Flash. Because I love those 2 episodes, and like I think Grant Gustin brings a lot to those 2 episodes as well. I mean, episode 9 is one of my favorite episodes that they've ever done on Arrow.
Oh, definitely.
And I think Grant Gustin goes a long way with that as well. I really like him. It's because especially back then, this is when Grant Gustin was like peak Flash, so it's really cool. The CW briefly developed an Hourman solo series set in the Arrowverse in which Mirakuru provides the basis for Rex Tyler's Miraclo pill. Okay. I mean, we've had Hourman on Legends of Tomorrow. He was the leader of the thingamabobs.
Justice Society of America.
I wanted to say Legion of Superheroes, but I was like, that's wrong. This seems a bit random.
Yeah, very random.
Like to come after Arrow.
Yeah, unless they were going to set him up at one point, maybe during Arrow season 2. This just comes out of very left field.
It links to Mirakuru, but yeah, that seems a bit random to me. And also, I don't know if Hourman would be able to do his own series. Like I say, I think a Justice Society series would have been cool. Like,
yeah, but not Hourman by himself. Not Hourman by himself.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're basically going to be getting a Justice Society show on the DC Universe anyway with Stargirl. That's basically going to be a Justice Society series. Like, Hourman has actually been cast in that show. So, yeah. I'm pretty excited about that. Especially if the DC Universe shows keep going the way they're going. Season 3 now. Season 3 has some very disappointing ones.
Oh.
The CW briefly developed a Suicide Squad spin-off starring David Ramsey, but Warner Brothers Pictures embargoed the characters due to the upcoming movie. The network then greenlit Legends of Tomorrow. So wow, Suicide Squad was actually going to be the first spin-off, not Legends.
Damn.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, I would have loved it. Although the thing is, that would have meant they would...
You cut out then, say again.
That means then they would have had to have taken off David Ramsey, though, from Arrow.
Oh, that is true, yeah. That is true.
Oh, would it be worth it, though?
And also, thing is, as well, even though we've always complained about this whole Suicide Squad Season 3 thing, we've kind of got the Suicide Squad now on Season 7, so we've kind of got them back. And I quite like the roster we have in Season 7.
Yeah, but watch when like James Gunn's Suicide Squad comes out, it's like, oh, sorry guys, gotta take them characters away now.
See, that's what I find weird, is like, because that movie has been greenlit and announced, and is in like the public, domain. It's like, oh, and they're still allowing them to do it. I guess it's because they're calling him the Ghost Initiative, they can get around it. I guess that's
yeah.
Because I guess that's why they're doing that. But I find that strange that it's like, they did they were going to do that instead of Legends, especially because I heard that Legends of Tomorrow originally originated as a Ray Palmer spin-off show.
Yeah, that's what the rumor was. Like a lot of people were saying. So yeah.
I would have liked to have seen that though. Harley Quinn would originally be part of the CW Suicide Squad, but was written out due to the embargo of the movie and replaced by Cupid. Allegedly, she would have had a major role in season 4. We've all seen that photo of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, who was it? Like, I don't know if that was Tara Strong. Yeah. I couldn't tell if it was a different actress and then they dubbed Tara Strong over it, or if that was actually Tara Strong herself.
Yeah. But I mean, this would have been cool, especially because I did like that photo. Like, there is that also, like, it's like a really cool photo with her in it, and she does show up briefly in one episode, like the back of her head.
They have like a proper deleted scene for it. I think on the season 2 deleted scenes on the Blu-ray.
What, like?
So if you want to get, from the actual finale, not just the Suicide Squad episode. There's a deleted scene for the finale of season 2.
Her? Like, do you see her face?
No, you don't see her face, but you get another look at her. Because they had that in to further set it up in season 2.
I have to go check that out. I haven't seen that. But replaced by Cupid. I mean, they had to replace with somebody. But I mean, what a bad
Cupid.
I hate Cupid.
She's one of the worst characters in the entire Arrowverse.
Why have they brought her back in season 7? Makes no sense.
I know. Could have brought back like whoever. You could have brought back Bronze Tiger. Bronze Tiger. It's just like
which makes sense because they set it up earlier in the season.
We need Bronze Tiger back. Bring him back. Do Bronze Tiger.
Deadshot would be a major character in Season 4's Hive storyline, but had to be killed off due to the embargoes. That's a shame.
I
really love the Deadshot on Arrow. But
better than Will Smith's. Better than Will Smith's Deadshot. Facts. Will Smith plays a hack fraud Deadshot. It's literally just Deadshot cosplay because he wears the mask for like 5 minutes in the film.
Yeah, and then takes it off again because it's Will Smith. We need star power. And then also Katana would be a major character in Season 4's Hive storyline, but had to be written out. Katana, again, she was pretty cool in Arrow because she linked into the flashbacks.
Yeah.
But then it was just... And she was pretty cool. Like I always forget that she was basically a member of Team Arrow for a little bit, in a way. Like, she teamed up with everyone to storm the League of Assassins and stuff. And then, like, the katana in the film was completely wasted.
Yeah. So I think she didn't she, I swear she appeared in Season 4, didn't she? She appeared in Season 4. I think it was...
Might have done once, yeah.
Yeah, like one episode. Yeah. And, like... No, yeah, I always wanted to see more of her because I really did like her.
Yeah, this next one really makes me laugh. The writers protested to the embargo by killing off Amanda Waller, the one character from the movie they were allowed to keep.
This is such typical Guggenheim.
I know, isn't it? It's just like, oh, here's the one character you can use, Amanda Waller. Fine, we'll just kill her off as well. Like, it's just like. But, I mean, at the end of the day, what would they really have used Amanda Waller for if they couldn't do
the Ghost Initiative? But nah, that's too hard for Guggenheim. You had to prioritize storyline for Olicity.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Amanda Waller that we had on Arrow as well. I really like the actress who played her. I think she did a really good job. Although it is hard to compete against Viola Davis, though, I will say.
Yeah, but Viola Davis was scary as hell.
She was like the best part of that movie. So she was really good. Ray Palmer would originally be Ted Cord, who builds an exosuit to become the Blue Beetle. Warner Brothers embargoed the character, and he was replaced by the Atom. Yeah, we all heard about that. I think we all knew about that like this was originally meant to be Ted Cord.
Yeah, but they couldn't use him again. In season, like DC were just like, nah, fuck you guys, can't use these characters.
Yeah,
can't use these.
I seem to remember back at this time, I think it was Warner Brothers were looking at doing a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle like buddy movie.
Yeah,
that's what they were doing.
Never happened.
But now they're apparently doing a Blue Beetle standalone movie that was announced a few weeks ago. That'll probably never happen though. I'd like to see it. I like Blue Beetle, but I doubt it'll ever happen. Do you remember there was a rumor that Blue Beetle was meant to be in this season? I think that character's ended up as William. That character that... Do you remember there was that character description?
Yeah.
I think that character's William.
Yeah, it's got to be. Definitely.
Because I like a gay tech billionaire.
Yeah.
That's what William is. Yeah.
I definitely think they made it like that on purpose to throw people off, to put them off the flash forwards. So it's kind of cool that they alluded to that. But no, I still would have liked to have seen Blue Beetle. But then again, like you say, they would have ended up drawing the comparisons to Ray because they are quite similar characters.
Yeah, especially because Ray is essentially this universe's Ted Cord, basically, because they couldn't use Ted Cord. And Ted Grant would originally recur throughout the season and become involved with Laurel, but had to be killed off due to the actor's scheduling conflicts. That's a shame. I really like Ted Grant. He was cool. You know, his story with Laurel, he was becoming Wildcat. that was cool.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I don't remember. They didn't kill him off, did they? I don't remember him being killed off.
I seem to remember...
He got injured, I remember, but they never actually stated that he died.
He got hit in there with a boxing glove from Arrowverse.
Yeah, and yeah.
Hang on.
No. It was it. I think the last episode he was in was episode 12. You know, the one where Oliver comes back and they have that big fight against Brick.
Yeah, I'm just.
He was in that, and then I don't. He was in that episode, and then I don't remember.
There we go now. Yeah, so he is alive apparently. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, apparently he was. Yeah, he was written out. Yeah, I know the show he was in. It's because he was in a show called Power.
Yeah. So, however, the injuries he sustained, he was unable to continue training with Laurel. Yeah, so he just basically left after injuries.
Yeah, I think the actor didn't he appear in Jessica Jones season 2? Wasn't he his neighbour in season 2 of Jessica Jones?
Hang on, where's the
Jones?
actor?
I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, J.R. Ramirez. Yeah.
Oh damn, that man. See, I wouldn't mind him coming back because I did like Ted Grant. I did like him as a character.
They could have actually made him Wildcat. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Especially because they did actually make him a vigilante as well in the show for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that would have been nice. Yeah, sure. I would have liked that. The flashback segments would originally feature a storyline about the Great 10, a team of Black Ops operatives. Yao Fei was originally a member of, but was ultimately scrapped for the bioweapon storyline. Bad decision.
Oh my god, bad decision.
So better.
How much do you remember of the bioweapon storyline in the flashbacks?
What? Oh, you mean the incredibly named Alpha Omega?
Oh my god.
The most creative name ever. I mean, to tie it back into Yao Fei, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. But no, that was clearly too complicated for Guggenheim.
Yeah, his eyes couldn't take that. This next one, we kind of knew about this. Manu heavily disliked his one episode appearance in which Slade was beaten by Thea and declined to return for further episodes for some time.
Yeah, we all knew about this because he confessed it at a convention.
Yeah.
Basically, guys, they fucked up my character.
Fair enough. Like, Thea shouldn't have been able to fight Slade like that. And but I mean, if it led to us getting Slade back in season 5 and 6, I guess we kind of had that. Even though he's gone again now, thanks to Warner Brothers. Originally, the flashback segments would explore the origin of the Suicide Squad, but those plans were scrapped, presumably due to the embargoes. That's just annoying.
I mean, we got Amanda Waller in the flashbacks, but obviously nothing.
No, that was basically just to establish how Oliver knew her. Basically.
Yeah.
Which is again a shame because the season 3 flashbacks are easily the worst flashbacks of any. Well, actually,
no. Season 4s are worse.
Yeah,
season 3s are Season 3s are boring, but season 4s is just like boring but on drugs at times, so it's just ludicrously bad.
That makes no sense. Yeah, I was about to say they're the worst, but no, season 4 does take that. Speaking of season 4, let's dive into that. Not as many for this one. Felicity is basically because all the bad ideas were already in there. Felicity would originally remain crippled and become the CW's Oracle, but Warner Brothers embargoed the character, so Felicity regained the ability to walk and became Overwatch instead.
Thank God for that.
Yeah, we couldn't have.
Oh, I remember that awful Oracle reference. I bet you sat there and you face palmed. You cringed when you heard that Oracle laugh.
Overwatch, what's our status? Excuse me. I thought you needed a code name. I was gonna go with Oracle, but it's taken. Oh.
It's not taken though. They're completely fucking separate characters. You absolute incompetent wanker of a writer.
Madison Danforth was originally said to be a recurring character with a connection to Oliver, but never appeared outside of one episode. Again, I don't know who that is.
I'm gonna wiki this.
Yeah.
I want to wiki this.
I want you to wiki it because I apologize as well watching this episode if you got that massive noise of just audio coming through. When I went on the Arrowverse wiki to Google Ted Cord or Ted Grant, a massive ad came up with no volume slider, so I apologize for that. So, yeah.
To be fair, the Arrow wiki is like really bad with that at times. You'll just go on random pages, just filled with noise.
I was trying to like.
Oh yeah,
it, but...
yeah. Oh okay. Yeah, she's stated as alive.
Who is this character though? I don't remember who this is.
The Candidate. That's the episode she's in. She was in The Candidate, and then she's referenced in the episode Blood Debts. That's what I can find.
What was her role, though?
I think she was just a friend of Oliver's and Thea's.
I don't remember who this character was at all.
Neither do I, to be honest. I remember nothing. To be fair, I think that's for all for the better. I just want to erase season 4 from my memory.
Yeah. Anarchy would not originally be a recurring villain, but producers enjoyed his performance enough to include him as a wild card in Damien Dark's plans. Yeah, I liked Anarchy enough. He was fine. Didn't he come back in season 5 for the premiere?
Yeah, for the premiere. Like I liked Anarchy, but at the same time, it was just kind of like how was he able to overpower in fights? That really frustrated me with that.
Yeah.
That part of him I didn't like, but I liked how he was the wild card.
Yeah,
I really did like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flashback segments return to the island in a failed attempt to recapture the audience's interest.
I love how they just put fail, because it's like, oh yeah, guys, we agree.
Yeah.
These flashbacks will wank.
Yeah, after the poorly received season 3 flashbacks in China. I mean, I see why they did it. Yeah, bring it to the island, because I thought when I was watching the show, I was like, okay, season 3, I didn't really like those flashbacks. Season 4's going back to the island, awesome.
Yeah, it was basically just a weird shit version of the season 1 storyline, but with magic and like 100 times worse. Yeah. Ross McIntyre probably stole that one from me, but it doesn't matter. Oh my god.
And the writers did not know who would be in the grave presented in the season premiere up until the mid-season break, when they finally decided to kill off Laurel. Yeah, I think we knew about that as well.
So obvious. Yeah. So obvious. That's still the biggest cock up the writers made.
Yeah,
killing her off.
Especially with the Felicity cop out as well.
Yeah, that was stupid. Finale. They should have killed Felicity in that episode. That would have been so effective. But now it's like, oh no, gotta appease those fans. Yay! Like I'm not like I've most people probably know this, but when the episode aired where Lovell died, I flat out stopped watching, and then I didn't start watching again until I think it was after the finale had aired, and everybody told me how awful it was. So I was just like, do you know what, guys? It can't get any worse. So I just continued watching, and it got worse. After that finale, I was just like, I want to watch something else.
But I mean, at least if season 4 was anything, at least it gave us season 5.
I'm not sure it wiped out the taste of season 4.
No,
I've still got.
We do have a few for season 5. Some decent ones, some really good ones. I'm glad that did not happen. So Prometheus would originally wear the comics computerized helmet that enhances his physical abilities. I'm so glad that didn't happen. That would have been so silly. Because again, like Onomatopoeia, that's just a villain you can't translate. Prometheus, especially because the thing is, Prometheus in the show is essentially an original character. He just has the name of Prometheus. He literally has no connection to the comics Prometheus.
The only connection is the reason why name the same as the one in the comics. That's literally.
It's just like, it's ridiculous. And like, to enhance his physical abilities, like, I like the fact that Adrian Chase, he was trained by Talia. I think that's one of Oliver's mentors. That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad they didn't do that. Like, Adrian Chase and Prometheus was perfect. So I have no complaints.
No.
Except for the only thing I have a complaint about with Prometheus was the whole him getting out Black Siren from Star Labs, but that's the only thing. Vigilante would originally have a larger role and have his identity revealed, but he was put on the back burner to focus on the Prometheus storyline. Yeah,
so they could set us up for the worst reveal in Arrowverse history.
Vigilante is the biggest misfire in the history of Arrow. Like, he was so cool in season 5, so cool, and then in season 6 they were like, oh, it's this guy who you've seen once, but we've recast the actors, so you can't even tell the difference, and we're basically going to evolve him into a love story, and then it's going to bring Dinah into a worst story ever. Yeah. I mean, I think clearly they had different plans with Vigilante, and we all knew that anyway. And in season 6 they changed it, and it just sucks. He was so cool in season 5, and then they just ruined him. I'm disappointed with that. Felicity's mother, Donna Snoke, was originally slated to be promoted to a regular. She was instead written out of the show.
Thank the Lord. Out of all the ones on this list, this is the one I'm the of. Jesus Christ. I remember the pilot episode we saw Quentin, I was just like, please don't show Donna Smoke. And it's like, oh no, she left for Vegas. I was like,
thank God.
Get in.
Even if Quentin did have to become drunk again, it was worth it.
She's the Jar Jar Binks of the Arrowverse.
Yes, thank you, Ross McIntyre, for that as well. Felicity's father, Noah Cutler, was originally slated to recur, but did not make a single appearance until season 6. Whatever. He's kind of a nothing character to me.
Yeah.
Like, he's in season 4 for a bit. I mean, he did give us Roy in season 4, so there is that, but yeah. Whatever.
Fuck him.
He's not a big character, and he hasn't really done much, so whatever. The showrunners always planned for Oliver to get off the island at some point in the flashbacks, but they hadn't decided which season would be the Russia/Bratva storyline. They delayed it a year after year until they finally had no choice but to do it in season 5.
Well done, Guggenheim. You
well done,
absolute smartass.
Good job, lads. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, this is just basically them going, oh shit, we haven't done the Russia stuff. Because yeah, in the pilot, they basically set that up where he just speaks Russian. It's just like, oh yeah, well, we have to do this at some point. And it gets to season 5, oh shit, we haven't done it. I mean, I like the season 5 flashbacks for the most part.
Yeah.
I think they were cool, but yeah, it did feel a bit out of place in like the last couple episodes. He just goes back to the island.
Yeah, I think it would have felt better if it was like maybe season 4 or 3, and then for the 5th season flashbacks, it's just entirely on the island.
I still just wish they would have kept the entire flashback storyline on the island. I still would.
Yeah. It
would have been so much better. It just added to the coolness of it. Like, you could have just made it so, like, I don't know, Slade or something spoke Russian or something. I don't know. It would have been a lazy way of doing it, but it would have been better. But then again, we did get a lot of Anatoly, which was nice.
Anatoly.
We love Anatoly. Season 6 now. Caden James would originally be the main villain of the season, but due to Michael Emerson's scheduling conflicts, Ricardo Diaz became the main villain while James was killed. Yeah, I mean...
This one kind of doesn't make sense, though, because I swear they announced at Comic-Con, was it like near then when Richard Dragon was announced, that he would be the main antagonist. So this must have had to have been very early on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because they announced Richard Dragon, they were like, oh yeah, because he was like the first villain they announced, before they even announced Caden James.
Yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, Ricardo Diaz or Richard Dragon is going to be the villain.
Yeah, but I'm happy they didn't go through with it, because Caden James, I'm sorry, but he just wasn't a good... Yeah, he was just such a boring villain. He didn't work at all. Also, we've got to mention as well the Ragman Haven Rock stuff. We were meant to get that because Guggenheim even said in an interview. Yeah, he said in an interview we were meant to get an episode going back to Haven Rock, and then obviously that never happened. And then the big theory was that apparently it was meant to be for episode 20, but it was too expensive, so they made that amazing bunker episode. It's, honestly, that episode is absolute shit.
Yeah, like season 5, like in the back half, is like amazing, and then you just have like episode 19 and 20, which are just like the redheaded stepchildren of the back half of the season.
Oh, yeah. God's sake!
I'm obviously I'm really sad about that. Just as a Ragman super fan, I am sad about that. But we got him in season 7, so. Well, hey,
for one scene,
and he might be dead. But yeah, the whole Caden James thing, yeah, he was a boring villain, and even when they started to make him interesting with his backstory, he was just being played by Ricardo Diaz the entire time.
Yeah, it just made him look like an absolute idiot.
Like, he was meant to be like always the smartest guy in the room, and I didn't buy that.
No.
So, yeah, and it's good because I mean, we both love Diaz, so
yeah,
it's fine. Slade was meant to return further down the line, but never did. I always thought that was down to embargoes. I always thought that was because they wanted to use Slade in the films because they announced like the Deathstroke solo movie.
Well, maybe when those like maybe when the production on that film stalled, maybe they were like, you know, you can character again, but they were just like, oh no, can't be asked.
Yeah,
typical Googie.
Yeah, I mean, we are getting Joe Wilson back on the show this season as a member of the Ghost Initiative, so maybe we'll get some mentions of Slade. Maybe we'll see. This one is weird. There were talks of a romantic relationship between Diggle and Dinah, but this was ultimately scrapped.
You called this.
Yeah, I called this. There was I always remember seeing it in the early episodes, especially like episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
There's some really like Diggle and Dinah are really close in those episodes. And yeah, I mean, I think there's very much truth to this because again, I think it's written that way in the early episodes, and then yeah, it's just gone. Because yeah, I did call this. I remember.
Yeah, but then they realised that they can't interfere with Diggle and Lila. That's just you don't.
Diggle and Dinah are married. Oh, Diggle and Lila are married.
Yeah.
So what? Would Diggle have been cheating on his wife as well as taking drugs?
Nah, Dig. That's too far, Dig. Can't be doing that.
Diggle went down some dark paths in season 6. And finally, there were plans to follow up on Talia's search for Evelyn, but this was ultimately scrapped. Yeah, where is Evelyn?
She dead, bro. I don't care about Evelyn anymore.
I would like to know what happened to her.
Yeah, but we all know we're never going to get an answer for this because nobody liked Evelyn as a character.
Yeah, I feel bad for the actress because, like, Evelyn, when she was introduced, I thought she was going to be quite cool. Obviously, this was meant to be Artemis, well, it was Artemis, and then. But they never really explained much with Evelyn. Like, she just kind of came in, and then she's like, oh, she's working for Prometheus. But they never established the timeline. They never established when she was working. Like, was she always working for Prometheus, or was it about halfway through?
Also, why? What she says? Oh, you're a killer. What about Prometheus? He's a killer as well.
Yeah, like Prometheus literally went around killing people just to get Oliver's attention. Like in the first few episodes of the season, Prometheus just kills random people in order to get the Green Arrow's attention. Like, yeah, like Prometheus is literally a killer as well. But whatever. I'd like to know what happened to Evelyn, but I have to say though, having Talia in season 7 as the demon was pretty cool.
I think that worked far better for me than what they say here.
That genuinely surprised me. Like seeing Talia in slab side with Oliver, and we got that amazing hallway fight, which was one of the best fights of the season. Maybe the best fight of the season so far. It's brilliant.
No. The fight scene with the black. Oh, I can't remember his name now. Bronze Tiger in the prison in episode 7.
Oh yeah, that's
the fight with him.
Oh yeah,
nothing tops that. Fights, nothing tops that.
Well, episode 7 is basically just one big fight scene. And it's fantastic. Oh, I want to watch episode 7. And then, well, let's get into season 7. Only 2 for these. There were casting calls for Jesse Bowen, an overarching anti-vigilante rookie SCPD officer. No such character was introduced, although that might have been a deep cover call for Mia Smoke / Blackstar. Yeah, that makes sense. She is very much that character, really. She's very anti-vigilante, you can see that. And she could have been a cop at some point, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Yeah, but then again, with these casting calls, they have changed around the character's details in the past. Like, I remember with Diaz's for season 6, they described him as someone who was like wrongfully in prison, but it was never used. Yeah. So they can get changed around.
Yeah, and it's like the Emiko was like Emiko was meant to be, what was her name? Konomi Rhodes.
Yeah, that
was meant to be Emiko, and like in that they said like Dinah was going to be her mentor and stuff like that. That's obviously not happened. I mean, again, it could happen, but it's hard to with the season 7 ones. It's difficult because obviously the season's not over yet, so there's still things.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe that could have been the casting for the older version of Renee's daughter.
Yeah, exactly. And with Jesse, but we might even get Jesse Bowen introduced. Who knows? And there were plans for FBI agent Samantha Watson to recur throughout the season. She appears to be officially written out instead. Yeah, I mean Samantha Watson. I don't know what role she would have played. Like,
no,
she had a recurring role in season 6, which made sense, and she was a bit annoying, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Because she had no personality to her. She was just generic cop character who's after the Green Arrow. Like, they never added any sense of personality to her.
Yeah.
So because of that,
if they would have made the FBI storyline in this season a bit more prevalent, like I thought they were going to, like I thought, like because we had the theory that Renee was going to join the FBI, based.
And that never happened.
That would imagine Hoss is in the FBI, but he's a cop now, so I guess that's kind of close. That's really weird though. I'm still not over the whole deputizing the entire team thing, because in the next episode, Diggle's still in Argus.
Yeah.
I'm so confused by that. Anyway.
Very strange.
But yeah, Samantha Watson, probably a good idea, just to write her out. She's not needed.
No, like I say, I just don't see how she would have fit this storyline at all with what they're doing. So yeah, it definitely makes sense to have her written out.
Yeah, she's not needed. So that's everything for Arrow. So I don't think there are any for Supergirl. I don't think there are any for Legends. Because I think we would have heard about them.
Yeah.
But if there are, maybe we'll do them. If they come out this week, maybe we'll do an episode next week and we'll do those. If they do come out.
Maybe, if we can be bothered.
Yeah. But that does bring us to the close of this episode. Like I say, probably no episode next week, just because there are no shows. There's nothing to review next week. But like I said, unless there's like some massive news drop or something like that, or if they do get some more leaks like this, maybe we'll do something. But as far as I can see right now, no episode. And I did mention last week when I reviewed Doom Patrol, maybe we'd do reviewings for those. We're not going to do that because Dan is not sure what he's doing with the show yet, so it would basically just be me reviewing it. And also, the day that me and Dan record is a Thursday, which is the day before Doom Patrol comes out, so yeah, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, but yeah, just for those who are interested, I have seen the pilot for Doom Patrol. I did actually watch it. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. Yeah. Really, really good. It has a tone that for me is it's like a more dark and twisted version of Legends with its tone.
Yeah,
very much reminded me of that, but no, it works so well. Like this is basically what I wanted from Titans. Just like something that's really fun and enjoyable, but it's like really heartfelt as well. Like, yeah, I can't wait for this because next episode obviously they're gonna introduce Cyborg, so I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I'm loving Doom Patrol. Like I said, I'm really excited about what the DC Universe is going to do with all their shows. Like we're getting Swamp Thing and Stargirl, a couple others as well. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, that does draw this episode to a close. If you guys enjoyed the episode, make sure you share it around with any of the DC TV fans who you think may enjoy this content. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And as always, guys, I've been Dec.
I have been Dan.
And we hope to see you guys again in 2 weeks, maybe next week. Who knows? We'll see you then.